My bad, my bad. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, right in the Discord. Let everyone know we're live. About to get started. We're gonna go over the markets, go over some charts, go over some value, some good information. Big day tomorrow, so we should stay calm, patient, and break down the charts tonight, because tomorrow's a big day. Had a bad morning with gold. Well, took an L today. Not a bad morning, but just took an L overall with the gold sells this morning. And gold's definitely looking interesting, but we have a big day tomorrow that we got to kind of just be mindful of with the FOMC. And we're going to go over that on this session. FOMC's tomorrow, later in the day, in the afternoon, after New York session, kicks off. You have the FOMC event taking place. So that's going to cause a lot of volatility in the market. New York session will probably be pretty volatile tomorrow. Sells on gold could still take place during the event or even after the event. Right now, I just wrote an update on gold not too long ago in the Discord. You might have seen a little bit ago, a little update on gold. And I'm going to break down some things with that as well. Let me check the chat. Volume should be good now. Might be, yeah. We're good. Right, we're good. Still can't hear me. So it's a good day to maybe even chill for tomorrow's FOMC, because if we stay underneath 27.75 yesterday, I think price could still push up to 75 or even 27.70 on gold. I'm just checking the chat, making sure. Okay. But it almost looks like a head and shoulders formation, maybe developing, depending on how the market takes the FOMC tomorrow. Everything's pretty much priced in because there's a 99% chance that they do nothing with the rate, that it just stays the same. So really tomorrow it's all about the press conference and what he's saying, how he speaks on the future for inflation, for interest rates. That's probably where the market's going to see a lot of volatility as well when he's talking tomorrow, because for this federal fund rates, we saw a cut in September. We've seen some cuts, right? But this one's 99% chance that it's going to, come out as forecasted. So the market's kind of priced in everything already for that. Market's things are priced in. Depending on what happens tomorrow, like if they lower the rates, that would probably send things like Bitcoin up. That would shock the market. If they lower the rates, it would shock the market more so, and maybe that catapults Bitcoin more. But it's really about that press conference tomorrow. That's a time where you just want to be aware of tomorrow when Jerome Powell is speaking at 2:30 tomorrow. Because with that FOMC, you can have like 30 minutes of something like this. So this is like a FOMC example. FOMC could bring a candle like this right at 2 o'clock. So right at 2 o'clock, when the federal fund rates hit, you get that high impact candle usually. And then the market is waiting for Jerome Powell to come in and speak at 2:30. And you'll see how the market with this type of event reacts over time. What can happen at the beginning, and then even maybe 30 minutes later. Like if we look at this chart, here's an example I took a screenshot of from an FOMC a while ago in March. But it shows you the price. This is on gold too. It shows you that huge move in the beginning. And then the market actually goes down for 30 minutes. and then it continues. So there can be like multiple moves tomorrow. That's the thing. There can be volatility back and forth tomorrow at 2 p.m. You could get scenarios like this where price pushes up or pushes down for the first bit of time, reverses, continues, or just full on reverses. I've seen a lot of FOMCs that just spike up and then run down. One of them I can remember like clear as day. It was in November, I think 2022, right over here. I think this right here. I remember this clear as day. See this wick? This was an FOMC candle. See this big wick? The market, I'm on a 4-hour right now. I remember this clear as day. The market just ripped up like crazy for like 30 minutes. And I was selling. This was a day. I remember I was on a yacht. I was literally on a yacht and had like a 22K day in Miami selling this. And I got out, and then I even realized I got out in profit, and I realized like this thing's gonna keep dropping, and I kept holding. I held on little trades longer. I remember this clear as day. News events. If you go to my YouTube, we're on this morning as well. Tougher sells today. First kind of L we took so far on stream, to be honest. If you've been on every stream so far, yesterday for me was the first L. Third time we were looking for sells this month, or this morning, sorry. 9 hours ago we were on. We're gonna do more training today, go over a lot of good stuff tonight actually on the session. And some analysis in between. So you got on a day like tomorrow, you just kind of got to prepare for like anything can happen in the market at like 2:30. Like a lot of volatility can come in. Because this event specifically for any new traders, anyone who's getting used to your news events, I have a whole like PDF I built out and videos on it. Not out yet, but maybe soon. This specific event happens 8 times a year, so you know, for any new traders maybe coming into the market, you know, I've been trading for 10 years, so I've seen this event, what it can bring. It can be a time where I like to be a little bit more defensive because it happens 8 times per year. So you got your 52 weeks in the year. It's sometimes maybe not always your normal week in the day. It might interfere with some of the things you see, is what I mean. Maybe there's some things you see on the chart, it might interfere with the volatility in the moment. I just did a write-up not too long ago in the Discord. I'm going to post more of these actually. I have several screenshots of news events. So I'm actually going to post the ones that I actually have saved. I have like maybe like 10 or 15 different ones saved from this year. Or like from this past year. This is just an example of FOMC. That's what you can do. What you can do maybe for the asset or maybe different things you focus on. Like you might like Euro USD or USD. Or you might like futures, USD 30, SPX. You might like some other indices in the market or currency pairs or gold. On an event like this and other events, I've gone over this in some of my training videos. One that I actually just dropped recently, if you haven't seen it. I go over some key things really at the end of that video too. If you watch it till the end of that video, I go over a lot of examples at the end on that video. What you can do with these like high impact news, especially for your new traders. This is something I should have done in the beginning. So for you new traders especially, it's maybe your first month trading, your first year. And there may be things you can do to refine things and pay attention to things and remember things. Because that's what trading is really all about, is remembering things, is getting a key like I would say photographic memory and I think like muscle memory for the market and just remembering things, training your eyes. So for you new traders especially, it's good to start out doing this type of stuff in the early stages because most traders don't do it in general. Most traders don't figure out that they should do it. And then someone like me started doing it really late. Someone like me started doing it really, really late. So you have like a mix of people who maybe do it, don't do it, or don't even really like plan to do it or figure out, oh, I should do this. This was an hour after the news. So you could take to refine your news skills better, because obviously every single week, every single month, you're gonna have these high impact news events, maybe on specific things like CAD or USD. USD is the main things most traders focus on, but if you're a currency trader, you might look at some other things, right? You can screenshot, and I've said this on some trainings before, maybe 30 minutes after the event, 1 hour after the event, different news events. Build a different file for each news, like your FOMC or your NFP or your CPI, so you get maybe an idea of what they do. Another angle, let's flip it up. Let's switch the perspective actually a little bit, because I've been around a lot of different traders over the years. Successful ones, unsuccessful ones, really, really good ones that make a lot of money, that aren't as good at ones that make a little bit of money. So I've been around a lot of good traders that make little money, that are really, really good on the charts. You could be really skilled and still make little profits. You could be a really skilled trader. Your first year, 2 years, 3 years, that's where you're developing those skills, right? Those maybe first couple of years. I know really good traders, really, really good traders that maybe make $1,000 a month, maybe $2,000 a month, and they're at that level. They're really good, and it's progressing, right? Maybe when you start trading, you have your first $100 month, and then a couple months later, you might have a month for $200, right? You maybe work different levels of progress up. You have your first $1,000 day, your first $1,000 week, or something. That's going to be a different breakthrough for you in your trading. So skill isn't necessarily defined on how much money you make, right? Skill so much, that could be a acquirement of risk too. Risk, capital, how much you make. You could be a really, really good trader and just you're at a level that you're at right now. Really, really good, solid trader. And maybe you're just at that level and growing stage, right? So it's all about progress. They like to say practice makes perfect. Practice makes progress, right? Practice makes progress. DeepSeek? No, I haven't tried it. I don't know, man. Someone told me don't use it. Maybe spying on you. Maybe they're spying on you. I saw some videos. I watched a 20-minute video on it today. And yeah, it looks interesting on what it can do. How this guy broke it down, of how like ChatGPT is just like an all-in-one source. Whereas this thing can take, it's a different, like, it's interesting how I watched a video. Maybe I can find it. Maybe I watched it on YouTube. I watched one video on it, and it looks exactly like ChatGPT. Maybe that's, ChatGPT getting replaced. Oh man, we'll see. I mean, it's from China. If it gets banned in the U.S., China's a really big country, so it'll be a big app in general because they have a huge population, right? So do this more often. On the streams, you'll see me show you guys, and I'll even upload more of these. I got some screenshots of some good ones that I could upload here later tonight and maybe through the week. In this, I only put one in there just as an example, but anything could really happen tomorrow. Reversals don't just happen too. Like, let's look at gold right now. You might have seen what I wrote in the Discord not too long ago, really, literally not that long ago. I'm seeing, I put two little updates here on gold. It's nearing, those all-time highs. Psychological level 27.75. We could see to the left there was a little bit of price action above it. Not so much. Like, it went above it, broke it, punched up. Not a lot there. It tried to get above, went down. That was like a big reversal spot. So we saw end of last week. That's where we were selling we were literally selling there on Friday. It's crazy. We could have rode down like a 400 pip move. That's where we were selling on Friday. I should have been on Monday. I would have been more prepared. Like, I had buys on that green candle, and I had buys down here. Disappointed myself. It's okay. A little embarrassed. I don't like losing. So I'm seeing more like I'm seeing more like a head and shoulders potentially develop. Like it depends on what happened tomorrow. Does the market have like some crazy volatility tomorrow with FOMC? Wick up, spike up, touch 27.75 still? Is that still maybe open? It's in it's in a good like supply area, reaching like a good supply area here where we came down and made this low, took out this low. My eyes are seeing more of like a head and shoulders formation. I think as long as like with today and going into tomorrow, as long as we stay below 27.75, I think looking for shorts could be something in potential on gold. But me knowing like there's still a lot of time until FOMC, it's 2 p.m. tomorrow. Market could still try to come for that 75. There's clean price action coming down. Like we just filled all this now. So we're in an area where shorts could take off. We're at a level really high. Reversals too, they don't just really like, I mark some up just kind of in advance just to save time. Like they don't just happen like at maybe one day. It won't just happen like instantly too. When you're looking for maybe like a bigger reversal potentially swing in the market, they'll build up more. Whether it's a bearish or a bullish, you'll have like an accumulation on price. A lot of traders often see like head and shoulders when they're seeing this. A head and shoulders is a forex pattern. A lot of you guys might be familiar with it. If you're new, maybe not, but example of like a head and shoulders, I think I put it in here. Did I not? No, I didn't. Not yet. Candlesticks. No, not yet. Just some mindset stuff. I'll come back to this stuff in a bit. But like what reversals in like forex in the market, they don't happen like one shot really. Like you can have like reversals like this, like highs made and the market goes down for a period of time of the day for the session. And those can be bigger or smaller moves that end up happening, but like a big drop, like maybe like a big drop, it's gonna take time to build up too. Or the market starts to range, break down, show some signs of weakness. So show maybe a bit more evidence. Something like this where the market's trading at a high level. It's also around a psychological level here. Like one thing to take into consideration is the price it's at, 1900. Those are the prices I like to look for on gold, like those areas. That's where I'm more confident, you know. I like to work my areas around there. You can see how 1900, it actually went to like 1910. That's like a little bit above 1910 and then down. But the reversal doesn't just happen like one shot. Like it hits, there's some sell pressure around. It doesn't just happen one shot. You know, price can build up. You can see here, there's a big sign here where the market makes this low. Price breaks down. You're even having, you know, you're having these highs, you're having these lows form highs, and the market from here like just fails to continue to go higher and it just dumps down. Eventually this turns into a big sell-off in the market. If you invert it, you might see, so when you're studying patterns, so here's a little trick. You want to train your eyes, take a bearish pattern or bullish, vice versa, invert your scale, flip it upside down. Now you can see it just from the other side, right? Maybe it might look a little more clear to some eyes in some way as an accumulation, right? As a bullish accumulation in price. So when you're even looking at it upside down, when you flip the chart upside down, you see this, you know, you got your liquidity, your trend line. Those are I always love the down trend lines. Those are my favorite, the down trend lines. But you have that change of character, market structure shift here, right? That nice punch up in price right there. So that gives you evidence, right? You get this pullback to 1900 here, right? You can see low, but then the market changes here. So these are clues you're looking for on charts let's say you're on a 5 minute chart, you're in New York session, you might be able to spot patterns like these on smaller time frames in the days, in different sessions. Maybe in Tokyo, maybe in London, in New York. If you go to the chart and you look at the graphs on smaller time frames, day by day through different sessions, your eyes might get more trained to seeing these on maybe 5 minute, 1 minute, 15 minute charts even. It could be more evident and clear to see on a 4 hour, because a 4 hour is a much more concrete time frame. It's a solid time frame. So if you invert the scale, you might, back and forth. Obviously, you see bearish here, like bearish. Price fails to go higher, makes peaks, fails to go higher. Then you have that dump down. Gold might be kind of like right here is what I'm saying. It might be like, maybe be able to stay underneath that 75, it's like that high. Because we pretty much like we dropped on gold recently. Look at this drop here. So if it's able to stay below the high, then potentially there's another swing low maybe coming in place, like a bigger swing. But going back to what I was saying, like reversals, I marked more up so it can give you guys like more examples, more ideas. Like even here, this is a reversal in price. Because the structure in the market just completely shifts over, right? Where you're going from bullish, you just punch up and you rip down, right? That next leg forms down. There's a reversal. They can come deeper, right, as well. If you flip the chart upside down, you might see it a bit more clear. Maybe you see this a bit more clear when you flip the chart upside down. Some people might. So when you're looking at this, for instance, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, punch up, break a structure, break a structure. So you're getting a lot of change of character here. These, when you're looking for big swings, this is the evidence you're looking for in the market. It can take time to form. Bullish, that looks, when you invert the scale, you can see that. I think I marked some more up here. Look at this, up here. Peaks, peaks, peaks. Again, like takes time to build up, dumps down, and then there's a big sell-off. Invert this. It's accumulation forming in the market here. This is what an accumulation will look like. Price will go sideways, it'll fail to go lower, it'll show you signs of bullish, signs of bearish candlesticks, signs of structure breaks. When you see it enough times, you often can get like a sign. You get it, market gives you a heads up, it builds up. This is a good one down here. This is a really good one. When you see, this is a really good one right here. When you see like all of this, like what the price does all here, and how it makes this low. So this is a really good accumulation that had a lot of manipulation to it as well. At these lows, the market ran down, and from there it breaks up. That right there, you can train your eyes to find that, to see those shifts. You'll be able to sense, direction more, where the market should be going more. But when reversals build up, they could start with like a phase, something like this. Right here's a good example when you're looking at a price reversal, something building up. It may not happen right away. It could be sideways, and we call this accumulation. We call it accumulation, like a build up in price. It takes some time. But that's usually where you get those trend shifts, especially when you break out of that. The signs of breaking out of that are like things like this right here. These shifts where you have a very strong buy side in the market come in. So like today, I think tomorrow, important day. Go on the charts, look for areas you see price just make peaks from or make lows from, and that's where you'll see accumulation. There's a lot of those areas where you see highs made from. Here's one that, you know, again, more manipulation. The market rode up and then dumped out. After that, just trends down. Some good ones. I have a lot marked on the chart. Wow, I marked a lot just to show examples. Bullish accumulation in price. Obviously, there's sells in there, but when you're looking at, you know, the market going sideways here, some of you guys might see inverted head and shoulders. So if you look at it upside down, it's like left, middle. So ideally, when you have like this setting up, like when you make a peak like this, you make a high or a low. You want that low or high to hold price. When you can spot these phases, the low or the high is like an anchor point, right? Like here's a really pretty clear market structure shift up here. So the highs become like anchor points for the market. And then this went in a long downtrend. Where it reversed was down here, where it started to break out of structure. If you look here, again, you go sideways, there's some early signs. You might not even be able to spot the early signs at first, right? You might not be as good at doing that in the beginning. But there's that after accumulation, that reaccumulation setup that could potentially happen. Right, something like this, you could see the market punches up. It shows you buyers are in the market. Price accumulated here. You know, there could be early signs that you can spot, but there can always be that second wave to catch, that second impulse after price really breaks out. So yeah, with all that being said, I mean, looking at gold, it's high up. I would still think we could probably hit that 27.75. If you look at now what price has done, you in here, if we stay in here, you know, underneath 75, this holds as like an anchor point for the market. Then shorts are possible, like swings are possible if we hold in this pattern. There's just time, I think, for the market to make its move, what it wants to do with FOMC tomorrow. If this is going to drop, it'll probably happen after the FOMC. I think there's too much time for this. It could stay around here. Last time we were here, price broke above, traded down. It actually tapped 27.75. And then you punched up and then quickly ran down. So didn't really spend a lot of time above it. So I'm more bearish on gold with price below this 75, you know, like close, you know, 27.75. That's a quarter level. If you don't know like what quarter levels are, like if you go on your gold chart and you could put a 75 anywhere, for instance. Let's start with just marking some 75s. Gold likes 25s, 50s, 75s. I'll just put some 75s for example here. So every $100, you know, you're gonna have a different 75 level on gold. Those are pretty psychological numbers, like 25, 50s, zeros. 75s are also pretty useful, pretty psychological number. I always rely on them, and I always keep aware of them, like that they're there, right? They can be strong supports. So like every $100, like gold's at, you know, 2,765. And down here, way down here. Now I've only marked 75. There's still 25, 50, zeros as well. You got your zeros, you got your 25s, your 50s, your 75s on gold. 75s can be like, if let's just go back like here, a little bit of support created, market runs up. What is this? 2375. Market went to 2400 and reversed at 2400. So that maybe even tells us, 2800 could maybe get tapped if gold pushes up. You can see down here how it ended up coming way back to the 75. So there's kind of like resistance between 75 and 2400 here, but market comes way back to 75. We might spot other times where there's just, it's one price, and we're not supposed to see a lot of reactions, but it's like when we see, like if we look in here, this is a 4 hour, you have 75, 75. So some quick reactions off of it. Overall, a lot of supply. If you go to the left, there's a 75. You can see these levels. If you go random spots, there can be. I've caught good trades and I've sent a lot of signals that went around these 75s and done a lot of analysis whenever we've been at them. So I just know from being on so many sessions, looking at the 75 areas. Even when you zone them out, there can be a bigger support. Like this obviously failed here. You can see when the market broke up, it comes back to 75 and it holds that 75. 2375, 2375, 2375. So it's like a random price, but there's some psychology to it. They tend to be known as, like institutional numbers. Look up here at 2475. Remember, like if you're looking at 75s, those are every $100 apart. Look at 2475 here. Reversal, reversal. That would have been a nice time to just be, watching that price, expecting there could be some bearish movement. That's how that's how I've always played them. Like if I'm going towards one of these prices, I could be looking for bearish. If I break it, then I could look for a retest at the price. But that's how I've always, from just in years of approaching the chart, like if the price is heading towards one of these levels, I'm going to be like down. If the market's coming downwards to a 75, like maybe I'm anticipating more buys. That's how I've always done it. It's worked for my favor. If it's coming up towards, then I'm like, okay, keeping an eye on maybe more bearish. So those quarters, and again, I'm only showing the 75 and just going back random place on the chart here. You can see here, 75 level. These are often known as like institutional levels. 25s, if you look up here, what's up here? 25, 25. 25, 25, 25, 75, 2500. So you might see the market like day by day. When you add the quarters, you might see the market actually day by day around these prices through the week. Maybe in a session, maybe you're going in London and you're tapping a price. So when you add the quarters, you get more, right? You obviously get more. There's a 50 down here, so we got a 50 level, right? The market can often like respect these levels. If you look, whoops, I clicked on the line chart. We can look for demand, supply, so support, resistance, potentially come in at around these levels. I remember this green candle right here. Holy. Literally, this was in August. I literally see this. This is 25.25, for example. So for those of you guys that are new to this concept, go to my Discord. If you go to Blueprints, I talk about this on a lot of the sessions. So what are psychological numbers? Whole numbers. So they represent a round or just a whole number that traders pay attention to. They can act like a support and resistance. You can read some of these blueprints that I put in here on this topic. They're easy to spot because you just mark them on the chart. So people naturally focus on them. With people who are entering the market, they're naturally focusing on these levels, waiting for these levels to get hit, waiting for these levels to get tapped. Big players react to them, so banks, institutions, and traders often place orders around these levels. It could be buy limits, sell limits, market executions, take profits, stop losses. Overall, They influence behavior, right? So like there's different, with gold, there's different, let's say, psychological levels or whole numbers we can look at and potentially, I wrote balloon print here. Just notice that. There's different balloon prints. I guess we'll call it the balloon prints for how we can look for the market to react and respond at certain prices. Some of them could be more near term, like, okay, let's see if this reacts right now. If it doesn't quickly, I'm going to quickly exit my trade and maybe wait for the next price. That would be like when you're looking at maybe every $10 and every $5 for scalping gold, right? When you're looking at $5 and $10 levels, we could be looking at them in moments when we're going to the chart. Like I'm going to the chart in London session and I'm watching these levels. I have these levels marked and I'm watching price and watching these levels in London session. And I'm watching a 5 minute, maybe a 1 minute, 15 minute, maybe my smaller time frames. And in this moment, I'm looking for price to react. If it doesn't react quickly, maybe it's a pip and, that's where I got the term pip and dip from, because a lot of times these prices, they can react quickly with the market. You can get quick 30 pip, 40 pip, 50 pip drops or rises on gold multiple times a day, back and forth in and out of these prices. So when you're looking at like scalping, it can be like, okay, I could trust price. I know I could take a lot of trades, but I got to be quick at maybe deciding if, if price doesn't react, let me take a small L, wait for the next price or wait for the next setup. Because you'd want to be quick, maybe with like a 20 pip stop loss at maximum 30 pip, right? When you're scalping and maybe looking for a $5 or $10 level to react right here, right now, right? Okay, maybe price is hitting 27.40 and you're looking for buys off of 27.40. Let's see if this reacts on the 5 minute or the 15 minute. If not, let me quickly exit. That's why I like to scale into things too, you guys. So I might not just put a full position at one price. I'll enter and see, okay, let's see if this 5 minute reacts. Let's see how the market reacts here when I'm scalping more. When you're using like the 25, so 0, 25, 50, 75, that can be a lot more spread out. So it's not every $5, $10. So you have more distance with where your prices are, and you're not going to be getting every reaction, but you might be looking at the bigger reactions or maybe reactions through the week or even through the day. When you're looking at maybe 0s, 25s, 50s, and 75s, or even around those prices. They can help really structure like a good, I like to say maybe skeleton on the chart or grid, kind of like your own grid on the chart when you're doing the zeros. So zeros would be 2,800. Above us would be 2,800. That would be a 0. Then we go 75. And then we go 50. So we're going every $25. So there's what I mean by a good distance or separation. It's not, if we put every $5, there's a lot of lines on the chart. Every $5 is literally drop, 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 every $5. Or every $10. Every $10 gives you a good separation. Every $10 as well. But if you're going every $25, you have like a good really grid, kind of like your own little personal grid and kind of guidelines, like with price in a way, like some good ceilings, maybe some good floors, because they're pretty much like magnets to price at the end of the day. So when we look at this from top to bottom here, or even bottom to top in this case, when we're going from the bottom to the top of the chart really, or here because we're kind of in an uptrend more. Where is 75? And I'll just stop at like 50. Or wait, I'll take this 75 off for now. And I've gone from 2,700 to 2,800, right? Real simple. So that's taking, when you go to blueprint here, you're looking at this one, right? 0, 25, 50, 75. Again, these are levels often where you can read everything I wrote in there, take note of it. knowing this information when you move forward, you want to pay attention to this stuff, even if you don't trade. Remember what I said at the beginning of the session, for those of you guys that were on when I was talking about like the news, something you can do with the news, right? I wish I did that in my early stages of trading. So like a lot of these things, if you're a new trader, it's good. Like you pay attention to them, you develop more, even if you're not catching as many trades as you want to, right? You know, it's better to move at like a slower pace in the beginning and not get overly aggressive in the market. How's the chat doing? How we doing? Since cryptocurrencies currently, I wouldn't say currently, like some do, like you gotta think some do have utility in them if you study some of them. Like there's utility that you can make. Some of them, like ICP has a big ecosystem. Like a lot of them have different ecosystems and other things that have use that not everyday people are using and developing and making things on, right? It comes down to utility. Like Bitcoin, right now you can see all the flows really going into Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin, a lot of flows going into Bitcoin right now. I'm going to talk about crypto. I saw what you said. I'm going to talk about crypto in a bit. I like to save that a bit towards the end. Most people always want to come on and see what we're talking about with gold. Full margin trade during FOMC. I did that like 2 years ago, March. I could probably find the account and look for the trade. Made 38K on gold. It was a good day. Risk tolerance 2. Smash the like button. How did I invert it? Let me show you real quick. So you got to go on the scale where the price is, not the chart, where the price scale is, right? Where the price scale is. So what we just did here is we took 2,800 to 2,700, right? That's $100 distance. We just broke it into quarters. These will serve for good weekly levels. Because pretty much, if we were to break down the chart every day, like if we were to break down Monday, like every day, where's Friday? Let's find market close last week. So if we were to break down the chart every day, section out the days, like obviously this isn't equal to like market days. But if we were to section out the days, the market's going to be at these prices. They might seem like they're far away, right? But realistically, I've done my studying enough to know this. That's what I'm saying is the market will find these prices every day, pretty much be at or around them. So they can be used even potentially daily, right? They can be used potentially daily or weekly, I would say, even through the weeks, days of the week. Like if you're looking at all the days, if you look at literally where we started this week so far, since this week started, we touched 2750, which is where we caught buys. Where they caught buys there. And we came back to 2750. We almost came to 2775. And we almost hit 2725. So they kind of, when I say it creates like a good grid, it's like, okay, this is like the high point. Like I want to maybe sell here. This is low. Like it's like a good floor and ceiling. For example, 2725, it doesn't get touched. Like we don't touch that price, but like it's more of like a good boundary for price in a way. You see we kind of serve above it, but if you look at the market every day, we'll be at or around these prices. They might seem far apart because when you're looking at it, it's like a big separation, right? Versus every $10 or every $5. But from my experience, the market can be touching these prices or at them, breaking them pretty much every day. Like we're going into today almost near 75 here. So when you're scaling them on your chart, that's a good way, like a good way to maybe look at the higher time frames too, is by doing that, starting off, looking at some of the quarters, paying attention. If we go down more. So we went from we got 2,800 up here, 75, 50, 25, 2,700. It's pretty simple to spot, right? Because remember I said it's easy to spot. So this is like for those of you guys that are new too, and anyone who's maybe looking for refinement, It's a easy way to draw support and resistance levels or good weekly, monthly levels as well. You go down every $25 on gold. Simple, really simple. Really, really simple. All right. Now you can study these prices, right? And at or around them, we're looking for buys. But a lot of like what happened here, 27.25, you could see down here, 27.50. So it could fit in with like a lot of your own analysis too, because we were talking about this pullback weeks ago on some of our streams. And a lot of these pullbacks that are happening, they're finding demand close to around the quarters. You can see 2,700 is a good number where the market starts a bullish move from. If we were to mark every single price, there's a lot more if we were to literally just mark every price. So traders will observe these levels at around them. It's not always perfect because the market obviously is really volatile, can be manipulated. Stops can get hit because like the market knows that too. So knowing what we know here now, the market knows there's orders always near at around these levels. You might see price come close to, or you might see situations like this where you could see down here there's a big wick where the price goes through, but still closes above. That would be 26.25. So my camera might be a little bit in the way, but if I take it off for like a minute, you'll see the price that I have marked there is 26.25. You can see below it 2,600. So you can see at around some of these prices, reversals near them. You can see some solid reactions. It's not always perfect, so you can see an engulfing candle there. And then the market starts to slow down and reverses after. Here, you see buys. Here, you see a quick little sell. Up here, really, really close. Not so quite there. Up here, you see a sell. Right here, you see price goes below. You see a buy. So the buys are like really holding a market structure. So if you're looking at this, like let's just say you were taking trades, like you would have been potentially looking for buys here. So if you go back test and you just like a lot of times I trust price, right? This could have been an entry. There's different entries that could have been potentially worked areas. Like if you're looking at 2,600 had nice buys at it, but obviously you could see the price did go below it, so it wasn't so perfect if you're just buying right at it. Might have been a harder situation there because the price did drop, and then punches up, reverses, comes back to 2,600. So it's finding a lot of demand around 2,600. Good sell right here at 26.25, and again good sells at 26.25. Next time I came to 26.25, not good sells. Next time I came to 26.25 here, good sells. Next time I came to 2,600, there was a good buy here. Just in there, like there were just in that price action, you might have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different attempts at maybe 6 or 7 actually at potentially some trades here using just price, right? 4 hours is a good time frame to look for closing candles at the price. Like the higher the time frame, the better. Higher the time frame, the better. So if like the 4 hours closing at the price, it's I would say like a stronger confirmation. But looking like trying to work up for candlestick closure is always more of an ideal confirmation. You can see the 4 hour doesn't, it hits this price, doesn't close. Probably a fair value gap we're trading into there, or a good order block. Later on, there's some bearish candles that form. See, like these candles are good to look for around price. Candlesticks like this that show signs of weakness, or vice versa, upside down like signs of bullishness. So again, one more time, someone asked, it's right here. So you got to go to the price scale. So you got to click on the price right click, double click with your mouse, and that's where it'll be. And you can bam. That wouldn't have worked there. You know, if we're just looking at the price, looking for confirmation of that price, wouldn't have worked. You could see 26.25. So again, it's not every $10, which, like, when you know how the $10 work, you might be tempted to try to trade at the $10 a lot. These give you more like separation, but still potentially good entries. Look at a lot of reactions as we go up, like solid reaction here. It could be waiting for those prices, like that would have been your entry. Crazy enough, we were selling on that green candle. This green candle, we were selling on it. That was that crazy Thursday morning 2 weeks ago. Should have waited for the quarter. My highest sell was like 27.23 on that day. We were selling on that day. And I did say on that session, crazy, like if you go back to that session, that was 2 Thursdays ago. I was saying we might go to 27.20, 27.25 area for sells. I got in sells early that day. That would have been your entry if you were, paying attention to the quarter. Just at the beginning of the week, we found a fire buy at literally 27.50 right here. I caught buys at 27.50. I closed some of them when it moved up and then added more as price went up. But I did literally beginning of the week. Anyone in my Discord, a lot of people caught these buys. Beginning of the week. Literally, look what I wrote here at the beginning of the week. This was fire. I was watching for 27.50 at the beginning of the week. So I wrote 27.50. You can see there, 27.45 area. Kind of like a key area to keep an eye on for price. So here, I could even see like some support in there, but that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a retest of 27.50, right? Well, that was literally right here. So, I mean, it could be time waiting for the market to get to these prices. You might see like bullish candles come in and boom, boom, boom. Waiting for that, that's where the bigger, flow can come into the market. Or even just waiting for the market to get close to them. It could get you, this took out the low. Filled this. So after that, it was kind of like GG. That thing was gone. Maybe there's a pullback to 27.50. If the market's going to stay bullish, it could react off of there. But with tomorrow FOMC, like I said, there's a lot that could happen. I ran down a pretty good analysis at the beginning of the session. We've been talking about the quarters though for a bit here. Look at this level. So like, I like to watch these primarily through the week for like those trades through the week. Maybe not those scalping day by day. Through the week, if you're watching gold every week and you're paying attention, you'll see the market at these prices every week. And you'll see some big moves. If you keep an eye on price week by week, month by month, you'll see some big moves come off of these prices. We got that move up. Crypto's going crazy. Right before FOMC and a new month. February and March is typically like a bullish season. Everyone's like saying January sucks. And yeah, like January doesn't always go up for crypto if you study it. Even if you look at like Ethereum last year. I'm starting to load up now. It's at 3,100. I've been loading up on Ethereum swings. Now I want to try to hold it for 3-4 weeks. I think this is a good area to start loading up on swings. My liquidation price 2,400. So my stop loss is at 2,400 for ETH. If it goes down a bit more tomorrow, I might try to load up more. It could do a situation like this. We could see like to the left. Maybe there's one more flush out if the market responds to FOMC negatively tomorrow. Depends on how FOMC really takes the market tomorrow with Jerome Powell speaking, what happens tomorrow. Maybe there's a flush out a little bit. 3,000 Ethereum's crazy because like it's been above $3,000 for how many days now? Bro, I'm holding like 1,000 Ethereum. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, can this thing move? Like, all my life? I need it to. No, I'm joking on that. I need it to, but not the thousand. More like 1,200 now. I got a lot of ETH. I'm betting on ETH February, March run. It's been above. This thing has been above 3,000 for 82 days, going on 82 days now. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can take it. I got a big bag of ETH. 4,000 got tapped and it was like Hail Mary from there, gone. But we've been above 81,000 for going on 82 days now. This thing is probably, it's killing most people because look at altcoins. Altcoins are down. Unless you're holding like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, XRP, maybe HBAR, something like. If you're just holding alts or memes, man, RIP like today, this week. If you're just holding altcoins and meme coins, like if you don't have, like I'm still a good float right now, but dang, I'm down like because of alts. It's like, man, because of Bitcoin, it's still a bit of a float. Solana had a good run, XRP, HBAR. I still want to see what the market does February, March, especially for Ethereum and this, market that we're in for crypto. Typically February, March, like January doesn't always do much. Doesn't always do much. Like it has had some crazy times, but last year January didn't do anything, and 2022 didn't do anything. 2019 was down. Like January can be, not always that month that is positive for the market. February, March, I'll be worried if Ethereum February was down. Maybe better that we're down in January, Maybe better for a negative January. Maybe that sets up for a positive February for ETH. Typically February, March, even maybe going into April, like this first quarter of the year, Ethereum can move. So it's been above 82 days now, like going on 3 months almost. Be 90 days soon. 2 days left until the month closes. So it's FOMC tomorrow. 2 days left for the month closes. That's definitely an interesting week with where crypto is too. But the fact that it's been above 3,000 for 82 days now, it does show some sustained demand. Maybe there's a support forming at this 3,000 or a bit below 3. You can see there's been some attempts to go below 3,000. So I'm gonna try to swing ETH from here, and if it goes lower for like a couple weeks on leverage, not on MT5, on leverage. Oh, look at, if we go lower, look left. If we go lower, every dip, even BlackRock. So let's talk about this real quick for some of you crypto guys asking questions in the chat. Even BlackRock bought yesterday, right? ETH. I mean, every dip, there's been some buys. Oh yeah, BlackRock was the only. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what this looks like tomorrow. BlackRock only inflow January 27th, right? Outflow here. Even on Ethereum. So that's interesting. Retail's not buying right now. Retail's not the ones buying them, like the market. Retail doesn't really have, like, I saw a chart, like average retail holder has like 10 to 20K in the market buying. And it's like low level right now. Retail's not even in right now, the market. Right here, yesterday, BlackRock, only ETF to buy that sort of dip that happened on ETH, you know? Every dip's been bought. Every single dip's been bought. The market's just preparing, I think, for FOMC tomorrow and then like the new month. If you look to the left here, there has been even some dips below 3,000 in the past that go to like 2,800. Those get eaten up. So I think even with the buys we've been seeing at these levels, like the demand that's been coming in, there's been a good support here. If it were to go lower, there would be, if it were to come to 2,800 like that, let's say there's another flush out, because with events like that happen like this 8 times per year, I like to kind of expect anything. Like if there's another flush out tomorrow, that could very much happen. And it comes to 3,000 or tries to go lower. Or does tomorrow's news just take us, start us going up here? I see potentially more bullish for ETH soon. Once that happens, if that like once or when or for February, March, if February, March can play out how historically we've seen it, altcoins will have some recovery then they'll start to recover and go into some stronger recovery. We need some ETH magic to come in. ETH spin, you can see low, just maybe setting up for something. Like it's been chilling. Like a lot of people, I've seen some people in the chat, like we've been streaming now. For anybody new here, subscribe to the channel, hop in my Discord. We've been streaming now here for a few weeks here on YouTube. So I know I've noticed in the chat, I've seen in the chat, people are like, yo, what's ETH doing? Like it's boring, it's sleeping. If you look at last January on Ethereum, so I posted this in Ethereum updates. You can go to the Discord and I put some Ethereum updates in there under ETH updates. So right now, like if you even look at last year, February, even between December and February. So here's a good chart. Might help kind of see where we might be going into for ETH, because it has been, we have that correction here that comes up. There's a move up here, correction. Maybe we come back to 4K soon. We have to see if this time it can break 4K. If it can break 4K, that'll take it to above 4K to 5K range. All it really takes is 2 months like this and ETH doubles. If it does what it's done before, like see February, March, how they're back-to-back positive, all it takes is pretty much a good month like that, and then one more good month, and ETH's price could pretty much double. All it takes is kind of what Bitcoin did with October, November, December. But ETH season's usually February, March. The Ethereum season, usually February, March. Look at last year, February. We're 2 days. We got a couple days left, guys, till the monthly candle finishes here. What did the month do for ETH? Really, more bearish, but we spent a lot of days just kind of in here. We've spent the last just kind of going on 21 days. Going to be 25 soon. If you look at last year, February, if you look at the price before it, kind of similar to what it's been doing right now. Let me explain. So there's a bottom here. Price goes up and then it corrects. Remember that. So if you look at last year, there's a bottom down here. It goes up and then price corrects. That correction was 20%. The correction we got from 4,000 down to here was 28%. We're still down. We're still 20% plus down from that, right? Now, if you look at, there's kind of like a fade. There's kind of like a period between December and February last year where you can see the market on ETH wasn't. It was going up and down. It was just up. It was gains and losses, right? It was up, down, and then up, and then down. Think of this like $4,000 potentially. Like right here. Think of that kind of like maybe 4K on ETH. Potentially that could be like your 4K that we tapped. Or even like, all through December now. What has price really done for ETH? It's lost, but up and down. A lot of just back and forth. Take into what I said. So for me, I'm bullish on ETH. February, like it's my plan has been February, March. See where we're at in March. Basically looks like if you take, for those of you guys that know trend lines, boom, you got your trend line right there. Very, very similar. Okay? Very, very similar. Even, if we go below, there's below 4,000. I hope that, or below 3,000. Hopefully there's no crazy, unexpected crash tomorrow. And I'll get liquidated. And then I'll be like, I gotta buy the dip. I think 3,000 and even like a little bit below it, still good demand there. There's been big buy orders from ETFs at these prices and even higher. BlackRock in December, if you remember where BlackRock, they did some big buys December. They're quietly, slowly, maybe quietly accumulating here. Look at 20 million yesterday. Let's see. Not to mention, one more thing about ETH. Let me check the chat. The upgrade. XRP. Yeah, I'm gonna this weekend check the DMs. I'll make an inner circle. I'll make a chat inner circle for anybody who's maybe interested in being a part of my inner circle. The Discord will always be free, but the Discord will always be open how it is to community. I'm always going to be doing what I'm doing right now in Discord, but I'm going to open another a website for an inner circle. For anybody who might be interested, you can DM me on Discord or my Instagram. For those of you guys that know my Instagram, it's verified. Make sure on Discord there's some fake eCabs accounts out there already. So just look for, make sure it's my account. It's just eCabs only account, Evan Cabral. I put the pie there. Only account, all others are scam. Watch out. I saw some people are talking about it already. I'm like, what the? I literally just made this Discord like a couple weeks ago and there's already fake accounts. That's insane. That's why I put the check mark. That's why I'm verified on Instagram, because there's fake accounts. I'm like, what is going on? People have time to do this? Some brokies. Watch out for that. Yeah, you can message me if you want to be a part of my inner circle. Like, this Discord's always going to be free, but open to the world, the community, the public. I'm always going to be doing these live streams, but I'll be opening an inner circle for maybe like 100 people. And if you're interested in that, let me know. You can message me on Instagram. We'll talk, we'll chat, get to know each other through message, and then we'll see where your guys' trading experience is. If you want to level up your trading, especially if you're a trader already, I could definitely help you on the mindset, maybe like sharpening some things. But I'll take on first bit of people. We'll do an inner circle where I have videos, basically like a course, like a boot camp. It'll be another place for the inner circle, so it'll be like 10x my Discord of value. That's where I'll be uploading like my people are asking me, where are you gonna upload your course, your videos, your boot camp, and I'll just make like an inner circle for that for anybody who's interested in that, because I'm always gonna have free content on YouTube, streaming for free on YouTube as well. But if anyone's interested in like being a part of an inner circle, you can hit me up. But I'll always be dropping like free signals in the Discord, some free, chart analysis. Always stay doing that. I'm a man for the people. But you can hit me up. I'm always gonna be doing what I'm doing. That won't come, so there's no rush for that either, guys. Like I know people are hitting me up excited. Don't worry, like I've seen some people message me, so yeah, look at ETH. Let's go to gold. Like I said, gold. So gold might be 75 area. I'm not in a trade. I was in a trade on sells this morning on gold. Took an L for the day. Maybe looking for one more sell setup this week. It's interesting because we're going into a new month as well. So obviously, like gold has been bullish this month, clearly. So it has to find like that high of the month. Does it hold this 75, or does it take it out and then go for the sells end of the week? So we're either gonna get sells like today, tomorrow, going into like FOMC. Or remember last week? Was anybody here last week? Type in the chat if you were here last week, or type in the chat if you were here the last couple of weeks. The sell, if you guys remember, for anybody who was here, I want to see. With crypto, so yeah, like Jerome Powell, he speaks tomorrow, and someone said something interesting in the chat. He's labeled Bitcoin as digital gold. Like it's been labeled as digital gold. That's what a lot of people will call it. Like it's not, Bitcoin's not necessarily, like it's not a currency for the world. Maybe yet, but where is Bitcoin updates? So Bitcoin isn't necessarily like, it's not somewhere everyone in my city is going to be going to a coffee shop and buying coffee with. Maybe someone like me would. Someone like me might be like that. But I'm a maxi. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I'm a maximalist on it, right? Someone like me who's been in the game, knows the knowledge, might do that. Get a credit card or a prepaid card, load it up whenever I want. Like someone like me might do that, but not everyone, right? Maybe later. Maybe that's something later that people learn about, right? That's something probably most people don't think about, right? Because I'm not maybe in the position to do that either, right? I could do that. There's people who do that. And a lot of people live like that life with Bitcoin and crypto, where they live in different, Costa Rica or different countries, El Salvador, Colombia, and they live the crypto life, digital nomad. Bitcoin isn't, something we go to stores and buy stuff with. But it's another way to transact value, right? Basically, Satoshi figured out a way to store, where Satoshi is, store and transact value, right? That's what it is. If you haven't really figured that out yet, then watch some videos to understand it, right? It's a way to store and transact value instantly, right? Did you see how someone sent $800 million and they got charged like $3.36 on the network fee to send $800 million across the world in Bitcoin? That was a big post. It's a way to store, transact value. You go buy a car with Bitcoin if you have Bitcoin. Like, look at the value of, like, look at what happened to houses. So houses pre-COVID and going into COVID went up, right? Not because they were inflated, not because of inflation. It's because your dollars went down. Your purchasing power went down. So when it comes down to, like, when you think about COVID and houses, for instance, the crazy house prices. I remember I was in Miami a lot, spending a lot of time here in Toronto. Even still, like, no one's buying houses right now because the lowest condo sales even right now in here. But, like, look what happened to houses with, people thought it was because of inflation, because things are inflated. Well, it's more like your dollars are going down to what they can buy you, because what you could buy 6 years ago versus what you could buy now, or what you could buy 5 years ago versus what you could buy now, your purchasing power. So how money is measured, the value of money is measured and what it can buy you. its purchasing power over time. The value that's how you really measure the value of money. Like if you want to measure the value of what money bought you 4 years ago versus today, right? So you want to be buying things that you know will grow in the future, obviously. It's speculated it's like a virtual and digital version of gold. BlackRock said this. Jerome Powell has said this himself. You can watch him. You can watch the speech when he talked about this. With only so much in supply over time, and when you talk about market cap, it could be something that is, it's widely looked at as a digital asset, a digital commodity for like version of gold, right? There's only going to be 21 million in existence. That means some of you on this call might not even ever own one, right? Because think about how many people there are in the world. I'm not trying to say that to be rude, but maybe it's like when we think about how many people are in the world, if people just hold their Bitcoin, it's going to be harder to get over time, potentially, right? When you look at the halving. Not everyone can own one, right? 21 million. Some people own hundreds of thousands of them, right? I think BlackRock hit 1 million Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken. So in terms of market cap, we can see what 2 trillion does into Bitcoin. 2 trillion gives it a price of, 101,000, right? It depends on how much you believe in it and the time of holding the asset. Time of holding the asset, the cost of holding the asset. How much is it going to cost you to hold the asset? Well, the purchasing price is one thing, but knowing what you own, like if you own 1 Bitcoin, I own 1 Bitcoin, and not everyone in the world is going to own one. You know that. Maybe you own half of a Bitcoin, right? Oh, is gold on here? Can I put gold? No, it's just coins. Stocks. GLD. No. On here, this is just for crypto, right? Yeah, literally. Coin calculator. And the whole Trump coin got the market going crazy. That adds some mania to the market. Bitcoin market cap of gold. So we've already seen what it can do with. I'm gonna go to a different one. Pull it up. So gold's obviously been around for way longer. If you believe in that, that's what I believe. Jerome Powell said it. I believe it's like that. I've studied so much videos too. If you look at gold, people, if you're someone who's bought physical gold in the last 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, however long you've been alive, if your parents bought gold, if your grandparents bought gold, if they it's always gone up. So gold's always had a store of value when you look at the price and the time that it stood, right? Through the test of time. Bitcoin hasn't been around as long as gold, but gold ETFs, if you don't know, gold ETFs came out in 2003, 2004. Right before the US recession. Gold ETFs came out in 2003, 2004. I did a video on this on my YouTube. Go to the crypto playlist. There's playlists. You can go to crypto. So this is our crypto playlist. We have 6 videos in the crypto playlist. There's a video in there where I talk about I think it's this first one. All right, you should watch this when I talk about this was 9 months ago. This was 9 months ago. I talk about when the gold ETF came out. November 18th, 2004. Gold back exchange traded ETF debuted on New York Stock Exchange. Gold saw inflows of over $1 billion in the first few days. So gold went on what was known as the gold rush. I go to that video. I talk about it in that video. You know, you can get some good context there. This was right when the Bitcoin ETF was coming out. This was when the Bitcoin ETF came out. I talked about this. This is when Bitcoin was at $46,000. And I said this in this video. I say this could be potentially the start of the digital gold rush. That's what I talk about 9 months ago in this video. Because I refer to how I literally talk about how Bitcoin could be digital gold in this video. Keep in mind that Bitcoin has much more limited supply than gold, right? So gold ETF introduced in 2003, 2004. Bitcoin ETF introduced 20 years later in the year of 2024. So in terms of that type of adoption and global adoption, go watch the video I uploaded a couple months ago before the U.S. election happened. Before the U.S. elections happened, I uploaded some videos saying one of the biggest wealth transfers when Bitcoin was at like 60,000. Bitcoin bull run prepared now. So if you've been on the channel, I've been keeping you guys. If you've been watching these videos, you guys should be up to date with me and Bitcoin, how I think about it. Go watch some of those videos. When the Bitcoin ETF, so we've started to move up on Bitcoin, but you know, long term, most people are anticipating this as the digital gold rush, right? If we were to get to the market cap, let's just say we were to get to the market cap Bitcoin to gold, one Bitcoin could be the cost of, you know, like a house here where I live, an average house in my downtown city here, or even more. That's in USD here, so the market is 10% progress there. Who knows how long it could take? I would think it wouldn't happen in a year or two. If that happens and you're in the ride, then congrats, but it might take 10, 20 years. That's what Michael Saylor predicts. If you go watch this video. I'll post it right now again, or just look it up right here. Go watch this video. It's in Crypto News. Go watch that video. Michael Saylor. Here, I'll even put it in the chat for you guys. Let's see where some of you guys, yeah, for real, eats a different pain. Sales came Friday. Where's the Discord link? Let me drop it in the chat right now. Watch that video. Watch that video tonight. You know, if you don't watch Netflix tonight. And yeah, stay in the Discord, stay updated. I post a lot of news on current market stuff, you know. So let's look at gold. Monthly is gonna come maybe to a sell soon, I think, just to maybe even start the month off. Like even if next month, if February goes up, usually towards the end of the month, if you go bullish, you find the high of the month, you find the low of the month if you go bearish. So it's interesting, we got like 2-3 days left of the market for the month as well. And we're at these high prices. Yesterday closed bullish, however. Yesterday a bullish close, so that still could indicate that we could potentially try to come up to, like I was saying, that 75 level on the chart. 25.75 that is. Or 27.75, sorry. Analysis still says the same. I'll probably be live for FOMC tomorrow then, because I might sit on my hands until New York tomorrow. Because maybe the opportunity presents itself during or after FOMC goes through what it goes through tomorrow. Like once it's done and the volatility and the dust settles down, I like to say. Swings on gold, possibly loading for sells. Like if I was to take a sell in this fair value gap around 27.75, 27.70 area, ultimately I want to sell at 27.75. That's where I want to sell for gold. That's the trade I want right there for gold more. Is 27.75 sells. Target 27.50, 27.40, or even this low. That's where I want gold to go. It might not reach there. I could obviously see we're in that fair value gap right now. There is some supply here. But risk would have to, like, the safe place for gold sells, I think, is like that high. So I wouldn't even, if I was to get in gold sells, I would put my stop loss here, but I wouldn't put a full entry at one price because look, the stop loss is here. I would try to maybe find different entries if I'm looking for this sell. It could be a possible one. There's a safe place in this case is stop loss below above previous structure at the high. Because let's say I was gonna enter a one lot trade here. All right, I don't have to put the one lot maybe here. I could see if it goes to like 70, maybe works the area, or multiple attempts at this swing. I see a sell setting up. I see like a head and shoulders, like I mentioned, on gold. We've got some weakness here, a little bit of weakness on these candles. Yeah, I personally like sells more. Again, I know I like sells this morning and they didn't hit, but still like, you know, in terms of where we are, we're higher now. But tomorrow, you know, if you're going to be on with me tomorrow morning, we're going to be talking about this. I might sit on my hands for the market and just chill and wait for FOMC tomorrow and see what it does. Let it do its razzle dazzle to the market, because if it spikes up, personally, I want to sell at 27.75 for gold. I like that price. Closer to it, even between 27.70, 27.75. Right now it's just pressing up against like 27.65. There's the 4 hour. Keep an eye on this 4 hour even, like if it closes bearish, market is starting to turn over a little bit. Like a little bit of weakness on these green candles. You can keep an eye on this 4 hour even. See how the market trades here. Might be good sells tonight. Might be some sells tonight. We're in a fair value gap. You can see right there between this candle and this candle. I see head and shoulders. Maybe you don't. I'll invert the chart. Maybe you see it now. Like, see, I see a little shift up. Well, it's technically down, but I just inverted the chart. You see this high here, punch down. Market swung from here all the way up, created a new high, but that's actually a low. So this is like the anchor point. I do like sells in this area for gold. Do like sells in this whole area. It's a bigger area, but if the market holds this pattern, it could be a big swing. I do like sells. I'm gonna be tempted to enter sells tonight. Invert, little trick. You might see buys now. Maybe I see buys here. Invert the chart. Now I'm seeing buys on gold. Flip it upside down and we have this low here, which is actually a high. Maybe we trade back into it, but overall we'd be looking for the market to hold that. You could try to scale in for sells, or even if you know the market's going for a swing, you could try multiple entries. If If one doesn't hit, one trade doesn't hit, try for different entries. But that's what I see for gold. I'm gonna definitely update Discord tonight because I might enter sells tonight. Let's see if we stick. I know I failed this morning. Had that could have closed, or literally could have closed. Had to be quicker. Should have been quicker this morning. Right here on that candle, could have closed my sells. It rode up for the day. Even London didn't really. End of London didn't turn around so much. Yeah, I like gold for. Yeah. I think we go up tonight. So right now there's a zone here on the 15. We could potentially hold that between, what is this, 2765, 2770. So maybe first zone is in here where there's bearish reaction down. I do like the way gold looks for more bearish personally. See this accumulation here on the, I can see this accumulation here on the 15-minute right there, head and shoulders. So you can see an accumulation right there on the 15 inside of there. That's an accumulation. Boom, boom, boom. Ran up, even retested it. So I do see shorts. All right, even though it's a big zone, may take me a few attempts or scaling in on this one, but you can see potentially shorts building up on gold. Potentially, do like the way it looks. Nice, yeah. I'm gonna keep an eye on shorts tonight for gold. Watch the 4 hour. So in a case like this, I like to even also wait for a 4 hour bearish close. And watch for like bearish candlestick, wick rejections. Good wick rejections, bearish candlesticks. But I like shorts on gold tonight, guys, to be honest. I'm gonna keep an eye on it for London. Yeah, it's almost near that left shoulders. Discord links in the chat. Some of you guys were here. Not a lot of you guys were here last week, a couple weeks. A couple of you guys. If you remember, take note of that. It's crazy because sometimes just keeping it practical like that really, really works out in the market when you work through time even. I noticed that every Friday with gold, every Thursday, Friday's been sells. So if gold keeps running up this week, then think about what's happened the last 5 Fridays in a row on gold. We've literally seen 5 well, we've been on for 4 of them, but 5 in a row now have been sells on gold. 5 Fridays. Thursday's going end of the week. So for anybody who doesn't really understand, we've been talking about this for every stream. Since the first stream I did, we've been talking about this. Every like end of the week, it brings sells on gold. Was one thing we've noticed. Now it's only Tuesday right now, so it's not near the end of the week. So something you could even plan for if the sells don't hit today, tomorrow. Wait for end of the week. If they don't hit today, going into after FOMC tomorrow, you can still wait for the end of the week. We've seen it 4 weeks in a row. Crazy. We were selling Friday up here. We were selling the market even here on that candle. And we started talking about it 3 weeks ago. And we were buying on this candle actually. We were looking for buys. Yeah, I like sells for gold tonight. I'm going to keep an eye on them. Maybe this last 4 hours kind of like a spinning top. These show weaker, like some sell weakness. Shows like buying activity has weakened. Someone said left shoulder typically reacts. That's over here, yeah, right there. Okay. I see you. Okay. Fib level, probably like 78, maybe about there. 78.70, yeah, 61.8. Some people like to go, you go body to body. 4 hour, maybe bearish. Where's my phone? Throw some lots down. Blow on my account tomorrow, if anything. Maybe one of those weeks. I see head and shoulders. I don't know what you guys see. If you guys have any charts, you can drop them in the chat. But that's what I see. What time we got? 10:14. I left my phone. Let me go grab my phone. Keep an eye on this 4 hour. It obviously has 3 hours and 45 minutes left. And this one, like, see. What do I want to target? Like 2750, 2740. I want to see if this head and shoulders completes itself. Try to swing it. Try to catch that swing. Make my L back from this morning, you know? At least try to make my L back. And maybe a squeeze more. Maybe like a squeeze more. I make my L back on a trade, I'll be happy. Should have I had buys in here, should have held them. If you got a 4 hour bullish close there, and after that it just stuck with the low. I like sells tonight, potentially. You know, let's see. Second attempt at sells. I'm gonna enter sells on gold. I'm gonna grab my phone, but I'm gonna keep my stop loss at, I'm gonna follow my rules. And one of my rules is if there's a structure point, I keep my stop loss at the structure point. I don't care how many pips it is, I just do it. Sometimes it's more pips, sometimes it's less pips, and that's just been a rule of mine. I even when I was sending when I would send signals, I would go on like winning streaks, and the reason I would go on winning streaks is because I would use that rule. I would always use a big stop loss, and people would get annoyed. They'd be like, "I haven't used a big stop loss," but we would always win the trades. We would always catch the dump. We would catch the dump. We would always hit take profit 2, take profit 3. But people would get annoyed. They'd be like, I haven't used a 60 pip stop loss. I haven't used an 80 pip stop loss. I haven't 100 pip stop loss. But I catch the move. So I like sells, but just, you know, wherever you get your entries, you could look for multiple. Keep an eye on this 4 hour, but a good risk point like is here. Since we're looking for a swing, and it's like, if it holds, the market could maybe dump, right? And that could be a lot of pips. And for me, a lot of pips means a lot of money. So keep it on this 4 hour, 2765, 2770 area. We obviously know 2775 is a key psychological level. I still, you know, I like gold for shorts, you know. I almost did this morning. Oh, someone's already in sales. I see a head and shoulders, man. I'm like usually like this is pretty clean, even. I think you know, if tomorrow was an FOMC, I wouldn't be like. I wouldn't be like, okay, the market could do anything tomorrow. But when you look at this, look at this. Somebody look at this. Somebody look at this. What's that? Somebody look at this. Or even on the line chart, right? We cleared these highs. That low, nice anchor point. I think we hold that low overall, which is technically a high. I inverted the chart. See how we made a higher high here? That's like your retracement potentially. That could spring price up. That's what I see on gold. So yeah, we're looking for shorts tonight, or maybe for FOMC tomorrow. I'm gonna be live. Everyone's telling me to go live for FOMC this morning, so I probably will. Depending on what the market does tonight, or for New York. New York, you know, it might be an interesting. We'll see where the market's at in New York, but sells I see potentially loading on gold. You gotta consider the previous highs here, so that's pretty much like a good like stop loss risk point. because could spike up with news tomorrow. FOMC could maybe even tap 75. Last time it was at 75, it wasn't forming a head and shoulders below it. That's one thing. It was really ripping up to it. And it just broke above it. It wasn't forming like a head and shoulders. It broke above it, retested it. Didn't really spend too much time. Time we got. Yeah, we'll see this tonight. I'm gonna stay up tonight. I slept all day, so I'm gonna stay up tonight. These altcoins got me messed up though. These meme coins. My meme folio is looking mint. I'm gonna go grab my phone. I'll be back 1 minute. Let me turn on some music a little bit. If there's any questions, we'll probably wrap it up in like the next 20-30 minutes max, guys. If you have any questions, type them in the chat before we get off in 20 minutes. Wait, play it safe since took an alley. Hey, follow your plan, make a plan, follow it. Make a plan that feels best, that makes sense, and just follow it, yeah. Make a plan like to flip the switch with news, like so it's a news week, right? FOMC. It's weeks like this where you can just like even chill sometimes and not even like worry about FOMC. Come back after it and see what the market done. You can always have that angle. That does take, some discipline too, I think. So obviously the market can move a lot tomorrow. Traders know that. But even like framing your mindset like that and your rules, there can be a week like this where it's FOMC and you don't really know too much what to expect with the market tomorrow. Like anything could happen. It could flush out, could dump, it could rise. So you can always go to a day like tomorrow with like just a plan of action. Like I'm gonna do this, and be disciplined in the way of, okay, you know what, I don't care about what FOMC does. I'll come back the next day, or I'll see what the charts look like an hour after or at nighttime. When the dust settles down, when the dust settles down, I like to say, probably why Bitcoin's just like doing what it's been doing. Because, well, one, that DeepSeek app caused a lot of panic in the market. Bitcoin will probably be even interesting tomorrow. Crypto, well, Bitcoin, FOMC, it's a highly volatile news event, but it affects like assets. It affects gold. It affects the stocks, indices. All that stuff affects, Bitcoin as well. Since they do, you gotta remember, Bitcoin's on Wall Street now, right? I talk about it in one of the crypto videos from, which one is it? I think it's this one where I talk about from headlines, the headlines then versus the headlines now. Maybe I talk about that at the end of the video or in one of these videos. No, it's the second one. These videos got the low. It's crazy because these two videos got like the lowest views, and I posted these before elections. Like Bitcoin's about to pump. All these videos I was saying, like, it's considered an asset now, so you guys got to know, like, it's not just a crypto. It's on Wall Street. They got banners of it on Wall Street of it, like, this past year. So tomorrow's news will definitely affect Bitcoin. Hopefully we see some positiveness there in price, or nothing too crazy, some neutralness. Bitcoin's been strong still. You look at maybe a lot of other altcoins. XRP's been pretty strong. We wicked all the way down, almost back to like almost tried to come back to like 2750s, and now it's back above $3. Solana, like, everything came down quite a bit, lost some value, but some things are holding some prices. Like Chainlink dropped 42%, but it's still been above $20. It hasn't been able to, go below 20, $18, $19. You look at a coin like Chainlink, it's dropped 40. That's a big percentage to lose 42% of its value. At the same time, it's stayed above $20 for the last 58 days. So yeah, prices haven't been going up, but they could be setting up to go up. When you look at some of these cryptos, even like they're down, they're up, they're up, they're down. Some are really down more than others. Especially like alternative coins. Your major coins, your major coins are more holding afloat right now. Jasmy's down. This chart looks familiar. It'll probably hold these lows, eventually run up February, March. A lot of coins are down, some are up, some are down, like Jupiter's up. But there's still like strength showing, holding, like even Bitcoin above 100K right now. It's not too bad for Bitcoin. It still has strength there. It's been making new highs. Trying to make some new highs along the way up. So as long as tomorrow isn't anything too like super unexpected, negative, then Bitcoin still even looks good sitting above 100. Like demand wise, like remember what I was saying about Ethereum? How Ethereum's been above flipping $3,000 for 82 days. That shows some sustained demand. It shows sustained price demand, right? So when you look at a thing like Bitcoin, and you know what it is and what's been happening with it, and you look at prices, right? And you're like, okay, where's 100K? We're above. This is the longest we've spent above 100K now. So there's a bit more sustained demand happening at some of these higher prices, a bit. As you can see, the market really held 90,000. So whole numbers, 90,000. If we were to get a crash down tomorrow to 95 or, come down, then that would cause a lot of panic. And you would see this thing, where is it? I should have it here. Where'd it go? you would see this continue a bit more. You would see, you know, now we're going back to neutral, close back to fear levels on Bitcoin. Again, if you look at where Bitcoin was a year ago, again, I've been saying this, crazy, saying this. I said this on a few of the first streams we did. I'll mention this tomorrow because I haven't shown this in a bit. January 28th. So 365 days ago, January 28th, the market was actually at the same levels, neutral, going close to fear on the crypto index a year ago, right? Exactly a year ago. You can see where that index was. Look at where we've been all January. We've been in that neutral fear, going back to greed. Now we're going back right before February. February tends to be a bullish month for crypto. February going into March. So we're actually kind of where we were a year ago. Maybe this low holds, this bottom out of like this fear, neutral fear coming back into the market. We rally, we hold. Going into March, February, March. And February, March would be, if the market's rallying into March, that would be a good time to sell. Sell some things that are up, that you've been holding, that have flipped. If it does what it did a year ago, you could see a year ago, it was dipping to January 20th. January 21st, like it's pretty much where it was a year ago in terms of the market sentiment in the index. Just we have way more bigger buys lately, way more adoption, a lot more Bitcoin off the table, a lot more accumulation has happened since then. So that is kind of where we are with the index. If tomorrow causes Bitcoin to go down more, that's going to bring a bit more fear into the market, which as an investor, that can be good and bad in some ways. Like usually when you get to fear, that's when you're seeing more of a buy the dip scenario. When you get to neutral or below neutral to fear, that's when you're usually coming more to like a buy the dip scenario in the market. So this is for crypto. You know, Bitcoin, I wouldn't say like if you're a hodler on Bitcoin and you've just been buying Bitcoin the last year, you're not experiencing, like if let's say you have Bitcoin stacked, Solana stacked, XRP stacked, you're not experiencing the same fear maybe. Like if you're just a Bitcoiner, you've just been buying Bitcoin for the whole year, the last year or the last couple of years, you're not experiencing so much of this fear at a big, like huge level, like because Bitcoin is still holding a value. It's $102,000 right now as we speak. It's still holding a value, right? If it dropped to $95,000 today, it's still holding a value. But if it dropped to $95,000, that would cause a big fear in the market, right? Because other coins would drop, Bitcoin would still be at $95,000, but other things would bleed out. So you get more fear induced. So I wonder what tomorrow will bring. If it just keeps the market, if it's more neutral and just keeps things where we're at, like a float, or if it causes more like selling pressure, like a flash crash, or I like to say a flush out, when the market will quickly flush things out. But with what I said on ETH, 82 days above 3,000, sustained demand. Bitcoin, the fear is a lot right now in memes. A lot of this is memes, a lot of alternative coins too. But you can see how quickly fear, you go from greed close to fear, how quickly you can go from greed to fear. Because just a couple days ago, it was like ETH was pumping, nice, and then nope. So quickly that brings in this. So this is something, if you're in crypto, you always want to pay attention to, especially if you're a holder, because extreme greed's a time to watch out for. When you get to extreme greed levels, that's when you want to start maybe DCAing out of the market. So there's dollar cost averaging into the market, but then it's like, okay, the market's reaching extreme greed. I should start maybe trying to DCA out. Maybe sell a certain amount every day. Extreme greed is what you got to look out for if you're looking to sell, right? When you're looking for those sells, that's where you can be maybe making an all-time high or a new peak. But again, where there's extreme greed in the market, you typically come out of that. It's like when you're overbought or oversold. Neutral fear is like being oversold in some cases. So some cryptos right now are probably really oversold. Not so much Bitcoin, but there's probably some altcoins right now that are probably really oversold, like dropping a lot, or meme coins especially. Bitcoin, depending on how you look at it, kind of oversold here. So maybe 100K holds, still above 100, which is good. We gotta see how tomorrow impacts the market. Gold shorts. That 4 hours probably gonna diggle daggle until like London session. Fluctuate is what I meant to say there. Maybe go bounce up, around, and down. Potentially gold shorts. Let me check the chat. That's what you gotta kind of know about crypto. You gotta keep an eye on this thing. If you're ever sitting on the sidelines in the markets, like September was a fearful stage over here. Recent September was a really fearful stage. We almost reached that recently. We almost came back into like fear levels. Neutral, more fear. That is when like market is setting up for like a buy the dip scenario. Because when the market's fearful, that's when the whales are going to be stepping in eventually. But most people panic sell in these stages, or don't buy back, or they wait. They're like, oh, they panic sell. So what happens in a lot of these stages, especially for crypto, is the market will drop. People will panic sell, and that's what really causes the fear and panic selling, because they anticipate prices to drop more. And they can, and a lot of times it doesn't, and the price goes back, and people end up buying back at a higher price. Extreme greed usually hits in March. Like if you study Bitcoin, extreme greed comes in March a lot of years. I mean, we gotta with the pro. Now we have a pro like president, and we have like adoption in countries too. Like you see other world leaders adopting crypto, and states and countries making like reserves of it, right? So holding it. El Salvador being one of the big ones right out there. And then your country's still having a stockpile, like with a pro crypto president might be an interesting, like how long it could go up, but I want to see where things are at in March. I don't think it'll be a bear market yet. There's been too much adoption. Retail is, if you look at the statistics, not in yet. And we haven't ETH hasn't performed yet. I don't think ETH done what it could do yet. I still don't think ETH. I don't think tomorrow when I see tomorrow's not gonna crash the market, but it could cause some volatility where flushes come out, people are buying, and then liquidations happen. So yeah, guys, we'll be live tomorrow again. at 7 a.m. A little bit after 7 a.m. Eastern time. A swing on gold, if like the swing for sells could happen after FOMC too, guys. Remember that. So it could bring some bearish reactions, but maybe like a big dump, like a big dump on gold could maybe, you know, happen after FOMC. We're in a fair value gap. Like if you look, there's a green, like the market could from here, like it might not dump tonight, it might dump tomorrow, it might only come down to like some of these lower levels. You got to see if this 4 hour closes bearish, that's where you get rejection. So if you get like a rejection candle here, the next 4 hour could potentially drop. I still like sells for gold. I'm gonna follow what I see. Not let the FOMC distract me here tomorrow. I'm gonna follow what I see on the charts. If you're waiting for FOMC tomorrow, you have a couple plays. Like you can wait after FOMC, see if we're still below 27.75 with the FOMC. If we're still below that price, if we manage to take off and break above 27.75, 27.80, you could try to see if this pulls back and reacts, continues more. So there is still even some plays like waiting for after FOMC tomorrow. Bearish, staying below 27.75. Bullish if we break above, retest. I'm going to wrap it up for the night though, guys. In a few here. That's going to be pretty much it. We're cheering for ETFs now. Is it okay to predict London by seeing New York bullish? That I've done that actually. I gotta go back to do it. Yeah, you could see days. There's days where you could see London does the same thing and New York does the same thing. Even you could look at London. What does London do every day? Even yes, you could do that. London bullish every day. New York bearish. You could do that. You could do that. I've done that. I've done exactly what you're saying. Yeah, ETH will be the alts. ETH will be for alts. Gonna move. XRP might run. Do you wait for news to drop? If you predict, do you wait for news to drop, or if you price at a zone before news? Sometimes I'll pull the trigger if it's a nice price zone, but rarely. I usually wait for the news to drop 15 to 30 minutes after the news and try to see if there's a reversal. So that's a good plan of approach. I have 2 YouTube videos on it where I talk about it. Headlines there versus now. That's funny. Some people still think it's a Ponzi scheme or scam, but I don't know, these banks. Follow the money. Follow the money. That's what they say. I have 2 videos on it. You know, I'm talking about it right now, but I have 2 videos on it, the news videos. If we can find it. What's going on here? So one recently from 2 weeks ago, watch that video. That's usually what I like to do. Wait 15, 30 minutes. 30 minutes after the news is a good time window to wait up to. See how price reacts to the news, and then maybe you can catch a reversal 15, 30 minutes after the news. There's 2 videos on that though. One 7 months ago. Watch both of them. They're both really good. This is my most viewed video. And then I dropped a second one recently where at the end I show a lot of good examples and, you know, something you can do. You can journal. So yeah, a couple like scenarios for tomorrow that you could kind of maybe forward think about is 27.75. If we stay bearish below there, I'm looking for sells on gold. This is a possibility. I probably won't look for that because if I'm looking for sells, it's either sells hit or maybe I hit SL. Let's see. That's another possibility if market breaks higher. It just wants to continue. I see head and shoulders though. I'm sticking with head and shoulders for what I see. Yeah, usually head and someone mentioned in the chat. So if you look left, we are at the left shoulder as well. Pretty much in that sort of left shoulder peak. Candlestick closure means this. So what that means, candlestick rejection, candlestick closure, what that means is like, let's say you have consecutive candles going up in an uptrend, right? Just bullish candles. So a candlestick closure would be if I'm on a 4-hour chart and I get a bearish candlestick opposite of the direction the market was going. So if the market's going up, but the candlesticks are, let's just say green, 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 like, or whatever color, like they're bullish candles, right? And it keeps going up consecutively in a row and it's not stopping. It's just like a bullish trend. A candlestick closure would be like, you know, when the candles start to maybe get smaller, even smaller, or bearish, like a rejection candle, an opposite color candle, right? Opposite direction candle, if I may say. Let's change the opposite direction in the candlestick. So it could be like a red candle that comes out, forms a wick at the top even. So that's what when I say candlestick closure or like candlestick rejection. If these are 4-hour candles, let's just say these are 4-hour candles going up, right? You could have like 8 4-hour candles or 5 4-hour candles that just go in a row, a day of movement, up, 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 up. You could be, if you're at a zone or a level, or even a price, you could be watching the 4-hour a lot of times and seeing if you get a sign of rejection, wick rejection, even candlestick closure. So that's what I like to say, in the opposite direction. That could signal like, okay, we have a potential reversal here for a bigger move down on potentially the next candle or even the next set of candlesticks after that candle. So kind of like literally kind of like this here, right? Kind of like this, where you literally have consecutive candles going up and then you get that one there that is the opposite direction, starts to change direction from there, right? Like right here, you had 2 bullish ones. It must have been a news event because you can see the price ended up dumping. But after that, you get some other bullish candles like here. It must have been some crazy time there in the market. So that's what I mean. Like if you have like a consecutive direction, like see up here, these candlesticks, how they're closing, how they're finishing versus the candles before them. Or right here's a good example. This is a good example. Right here's a fine example right there. See the candles before. Does it always work? No. Depends on if the market's in a really strong uptrend like gold's been. But that's like what I like to wait for as well, like candle closure. Like, so if you look at this, see this guy right now, it's red right now. The one before, it's even small. Like these two together, these ones together even show like smaller sell activity or the buying activity weakening down. So when we say closure, it's referring to like watching a 4-hour. Like, okay, can this 4-hour close bearish? If it does, that could be a confirmation. Like down here, you had literally you had a inverted hammer. After that, gone, right? So the right close, like being on the right close at the right time, can give you a bottom or a top. You could be catching a peak or a bottom when you get the right close, especially on the 4-hour. That's what that means. But I'm gonna wrap it up for the night, I think, here, guys. I'm in shorts. I'm gonna hold shorts on gold. I'm gonna look for entries tonight. And then we'll see tomorrow, probably after FOMC, especially if we stay below. I'm looking for price to stay below that 27.75. Like I said, you could wait. Tomorrow's a day where the market could bring high impact, so you could wait, follow your trading plan. Just going over what I see here tonight. Might be some shorts coming in. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I'll be back in the morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time, a little bit after 7 a.m. Eastern time. 10-15 minutes after 7 a.m. Eastern time. So before New York session tomorrow, we'll be back. We're going to wrap it up for the night here. Hope you guys got value on the session. If you did, remember to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to be streaming here every day on YouTube all year. You can already see we've been streaming here for the last couple of weeks, guys. So if you're new, plug in. There's lots to learn, lots of information, lots of things I'm going to be going over, lots of different things, and lots of creative things I'll be teaching on the sessions throughout these streams. So plug in, tap in. I'll see everybody tomorrow, if not on the next session. Peace out, peace out.
You've got a second chance, you could go home, escape it all, it's just